G'day everyone, welcome back to Pete's Investing. Today's April 14, 2023. This is the spot silver price update. Got the daily, the 4 hour and the 1 hour, and overall you can see here they're all in a bullish momentum on all timelines. So let's drill down on each of them and see where we're headed. So first off, we do use, for those new to the channel, we do use the CCI 1500 with a moving average 400 as our primary indicator as opposed to the moving average 200 in terms of trend direction. You'll see here, for example, it broke below the moving average 400 on the CCI, and it stayed below that until this point, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But you can see there, the moving average 200 also broke below, the price also broke below the moving average on the price chart. But you'll notice there are a lot of false breaks above the moving average, whereas the CCI pretty much told you to stay predominantly short positions. So let's drill down also on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. But before I go there, I just want to talk about the support and resistance lines. Support at 1991, these are key support areas, and key resistance at 2513. Now you'll notice also these two diagonal trend lines causing this channel, and the price is broken up through the resistance, but also through that trend channel, and hitting this minus resistance area at 2597. I'm making that a minor point at the moment. Once that confirms and the price starts turning down, then I'm going to move this solid line to that area. Now that was previously at this previous bar as a minor resistance, and I've moved that up to that level. So we'll see where that goes in the coming hours, if that persists to go higher or if it's going to break to the downside. Let's go to the 4 hour chart. Again, you'll notice here on the 4 hour chart I've drawn this diagonal trend line, and it seems to always gravitate above and below that trend line. So if it does go higher, we're going to see it gravitate towards that diagonal trend line in the short term. Also want to talk about, going back to what I said earlier about the trend in terms of using the CCI. I did say predominantly follow the CCI trend. Now you'll notice here it did break above the moving average, and so did the price break above the moving average 200. But notice also on the 4 hour chart, this period, just to give you a bit more clarity, that was showing, and that's the area there, that was showing a bearish divergence. So even though the CCI on the 4 hour chart was in an upswing, that area there was showing a bearish divergence versus the price chart, which is showing a bullish divergence. So if you're reading that carefully and comparing it to the daily as well, you see there a break to the downside, and that ultimately that divergence played out quite nicely. So that would have been a nice area to go short. A bit of a risky trade possibly, but a nice area to go short once it broke down, especially on this moving average of the CCI. And it's going to the hourly chart as well. You can see it there more clearly, a bearish divergence versus a bullish divergence on the price chart. So again, follow the overall trend. So if you're going to trade, in this case, if you're going to trade short on the hourly, make sure it's in the same direction as the 4 hourly at least. So again, just make sure they're all in the same direction. Currently, they're all in a long positioning, so trade predominantly long. So going back to the hour chart, again, we're currently in a pretty strong uptrend on the CCI, and there's no sign yet of a reversal. Now again, if this breaks up above this minor resistance, we're going to move resistance up in the next couple of days, possibly, and we'll see this price possibly gravitate towards this moving average. Alternatively, we need to see it break to the downside, and we also need to see the CCI break to the downside as well, in which case I'll start drawing some Fibonacci retracements. At the moment, probably no real point unless you really want to get to the nitty-gritty in these little areas here, but I'm not going to do that at this point. Just going to focus on the major moves at the moment. So at the moment, if you want to understand how to properly trade using the average down approach, reference the links in the description below. Subscribe and support us more on Patreon, and we'll see you in the next video.